Hello there. I am coming to you today to talk a little bit about an unpopular opinion that others in my general vicinity slash my peers might find a little, I don't know, bombastic, special, different. And really at the core of it is this idea that the things we're here to make are not just made from our own making, right? Stick with me here. I know many of us are accomplished. We follow like pathways and blueprints. And we're like, this is the thing. This is how you make the thing. This is how you put a book out into the world. This is how you build a business. The particular and all of that is there, right? And yet, at the truth at the bottom of all of that is what I believe. What I believe is like as a vessel is what I actually believe that I am here to do as a vessel is to communicate to people the importance of being in connection with and in relationship with the things that we're here to make, right? And that it's not, they don't just get made through our sheer will because they're ours and they're like our babies and we determine the way they exist in the world, the way they function in the world, right? But that actually, if you look at that metaphor, it's probably quite similar. Our businesses, our books, YouTube channel, I don't know. I got the vision of like a blanket that someone might be putting together, like this grandiose, um, a quilt, right? Like all of that is made in honor of something. And usually, when we're called to create something, that means that the energy of that thing is calling to us in that moment. And there are authors who make claims to this too. Like if you were to read Elizabeth Gilbert's book, um, about creativity. I'm only remembering one word in it, which is magic. Um, she talks a little bit about this. And I feel like what I teach is how to actually be in relationship with the energy of the thing that you're here to make. And so I often will tell you a story so that you can understand because this all sounds like very theoretical, right? So I'm going to give you an example. So I have a book that I'm writing, that I have been writing for months. I started it back in January. I'm on like month 7 of this thing. It ebbs and it flows, all this stuff, right? I actually don't know if it is January. It might be even longer. Anyway, whatever, right? So I show up to these co-working hours for the community space that I'm in that I've created, Sacred Creative Studio. I or another set of co-working hours with a friend. Either way, I'm like sitting there with someone else. They're creating, I'm creating. And what ends up happening is I enter the space and I'm like, I know intuitively what I should be doing is going back to like a list of bullets that I had in this draft. And those bullets had like different story ideas of essays that I wanted to write, but I didn't write them at that time because I was writing other sections. I was like, oh, let me go back in there. Let me just get back into writing an essay for the book. Well, I get to this set of co-working hours and I had already sort of decided this. I was like, I think that's where I'm supposed to head. And I sit there and I'm like, yeah, but I just want to read this whole thing. I want to read the entire draft that I have from beginning to end so that I can figure out what the heck is here so I can like finish this thing and just put it out in the world and be done, right? With this particular part of the drafting process. Not because I believe that once I go through the draft, I'll be done, but there is this part of the messy middle that I'm sitting in with this project where it's like, I have a sort of definitive sense of what the thing is, but it does not yet look that way because this is a nonfiction book and it's a book of essays. And there's a lot of questions that I have. And I actually had a wonderful session with someone where there's a video on the channel. It's a heart to heart with a book coach about like, where does this nonfiction book sit? Is it just like memoir, essays? Is it also a teaching book of understanding things and concepts in the book? Like these are all questions. And I was like, I came in the co-working hours, I was like, oh, I just want to sit there and make sense of this already, right? But I also know enough that when I sit down, I know that that's like my very human ego self that's just working from the place of productivity. It's not actually following the thread of creativity. So instead, I'm like, what am I intuitively guided to? The project is like, we're still being made. Like, you need to go in and you need to start writing again. You were writing a couple days ago, but you got to keep writing. I got to keep showing up to write this thing. And so that's what I did for the next 45 minutes. I just wrote in exactly how I imagined it might work, which is in bullets. But I'll be honest, there's some moments when I get to co-working hours and I'm sitting there, or a time span in which I sit there and I determine, oh, hey, I'm going to work on my book. And what I do for like 10 to 15 minutes is I just decide to arrive in the present moment and I choose to engage with the energy of the project because I have gone around in the world rummaging about. I call it rummaging about because I'm a human. I went grocery shopping, or maybe I wanted some ice cream the other day. So I went to get some ice cream. I had to talk to my partner. Then I had to deal with the house. Then I had to pay a bill. Then I had to do something in the business. Then I had to do this for teaching. So I'm like sitting here running amok around the world, doing all these things. But those things are not creating this book. They're not writing this book, right? And so often when I sit down to co-working hours, sometimes if I don't have a plan, I'm like, okay, my job right now is to sit down, arrive in this present moment of where I am, and seek to hear from the project itself. And that's what I do. I light a freaking candle. I take a few deep breaths. I find some yummy incense. I grab a deck of cards that is calling to me. And then I just sit there and I take a few deep breaths. And there are two things sometimes I do. One thing, I just pull cards and I drop in and I ask to be guided by the beings that are here to help me get the project done. Because there's like a set of guides that are particular to the project. So if I connect with them, they help me sort of get back in. So I either do that or I just go in and I ask the project, like, what am I, like, what do we need to get done today? Like, where is this going? Right. And I'll be honest, I've been out in the world working with a few different people who do creative things or build businesses. And the truth is that we don't always come from this place, right? Of like, oh, there's another entity that is seeking to be made real in the world, and it has chosen me to help it come into fruition. And so that means that I don't get to come in sort of like our Western notion of colonialism and be like, no, it's just my way or the highway. Right. And that's the moment at which you feel the pressure in which you're pushing. I always tell clients, like, I can always notice and I can always feel it in myself. When I feel like I'm pushing, that's coming from a place of absolute, like, human having to get something done, human dominance of I control things and things must go my way. Right. And then we wonder why we're exhausted because all we've done is like push, when in actuality, what the creation is asking of us, our intuition is asking of us, is probably something quite different from what we're actually doing. But we're just also tied up in the energy of the world, the energy that people have left with us, that we don't get clear enough and we don't allow ourselves to arrive enough in the present and connect with the thing that we're here to make for us to actually hear what's the most intuitive path forward. Right. I will say this, and I may die on this cliff. It's like creativity is not like a logical train that you go on and you get from one destination A and you get to destination Z. That's just not how it works. When you're here to build amazing things and they're unique and they're special and they're different and they've called on you to make them real for a reason, right? The destination is never A to Z. And if it is, I'll be honest, you're probably not the person I'm meant to work with, right? Because I don't think almost anything big that we're here to make, and I mean big, not like, oh, I need to write an email to my list. Usually I can get that done. That's like a very complete process, right? But when there are bigger things to be made, like courses, like even larger learning experiences like group programs or like a membership journey, a book, a podcast, a YouTube channel, a business, right? Like often those things we're being called to create, if we're meant to create them, it's not super linear, right? Even if you look at the people who like, oh, I built this channel, I built this platform in this way. What they did was they threw a bunch of shit at the wall long enough to create a system that they now can give away to you. And sometimes that system is efficient and effective, but sometimes it's just their system. It's not yours, right? And I think that's the beauty of what I talked about, I think on like day 2 or 3 of like discernment. It's like, yeah, you can go buy something from someone else who's going to help guide you on this path to creating your thing, but you have to still sit in your like sovereign seat of like ultimate responsibility to you and the energy of this project to discern as to like what part of this path is working for me and what part of this path is not. And just being honest with yourself about that, because I believe that that's what's at the crux of like creative flow. is when we're actually in right relationship with the thing that's made to be made through us. It's not that it's just easy, it's just that it's moving, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, creative flow must mean it's easy. No, it isn't. It's not easy for me to write this book. I'll be honest, some days I don't want to write it, right? But the process through which I move through it is a lot more easeful and takes a lot less energy than pushing through it to just get through it and then be exhausted on the other end, right? And that's why it's important to be in relationship, right? Like I'll give you another example. There's another book I have on my list of things to write. I sit down to write it. I'm like, oh no, this book is just going to be like one of those daily readers, right? Like you take out a daily reader every day of the year, has a different thing. I had all these emails that had like stacked up. Literally, I had stacked up all these emails. And it was like a year of emails about self-care. And I was like, I'm going to create this fabulous daily reader. I love daily readers. It's going to be partial daily reader, partial workbook. It's going to be delicious. It's going to be great. I had all these ideas in my mind. Then I sit down, right? And I get present. I begin the project at a time in my life where like something else isn't competing for my attention. I arrive. I literally, for me, I don't know about you, but I got to sit on the ground. They're always calling me to sit on the ground of whatever apartment I'm in. I get the cards and they make it very clear. This isn't the project. The project is me telling my story. And my story has different components. And they had other guides come to meet me. It was a never ending. And I was like, what? But that's not what I wanted. That's not what I thought I wanted. I thought that's, and they're like, but that's not what you're mean. They're like, that's a Filleta project. Like you can create that little daily reader from other stuff that you write. But right now, like this is your book. Like this is the book about self-care that you have lived your life to create and put out in the world. And BT dubs, there are like 3 books. And each of them, I thought I had an idea. And they're like, no. Like there's another book about creativity, as you see me talk about on this channel all the time. They're like, no, that's your last book. And I'm like, no, but that's the first one. It's so exciting. And it's the one. And it's like, I've spent my entirety of working in higher education, spending my life like pushing against institution, pushing against what my intuition has told me to do. And I do the opposite. And then I exhausted myself into absolute burnout because what I did was I pushed and I pushed and I pushed and I pushed. When in moments, there were clear moments of like, you're done. There are clear moments of like, this clearly isn't the space for what it is you're trying to create. Whether that creation is a group organization, that creation is a public, it doesn't matter what it is. But I got clear signals. And I was like, no, right? Because our programming is loud and clear. It's like the harder it is, that means the more it's meant to be. Which is bullcrap on all levels. But that's what like pushed me through. Right. And what ends up happening is what always often happens with my writing is like I have 3 degrees and I have, if you look me up, you'll find a dissertation with my name on it. And I can't tell you that it sits on my bookshelf. And it's a reminder of what I've built a career around for 13 years. But I can't tell you that the writing I did in it and the things that I did in it, I'm like super proud of. I'm really excited that it's quite a dynamic project. It's not just one thing. It's like a weaving, like a quilt. It's really, I love that part because that's the one that I had the most autonomy with. But the actual writing is like not my jam. You know why? Like I go back, the writing I love the most is like my poetry writing. Like I can see it in different glimmers in different classes I took. Like it was always my love of poetry, right? And to me, that felt like the call of my soul was always poetry because I actually speak in like poems and like very clear language. And that's why now I won't ever go back to like my human sense of like, no, we must get this done and we must finish this writing project, right? Whenever I think about my creation, I never allow that to run amok anymore because I know I have evidence and proof in my life of when I've done that before. And I have not been happy with the end outcome. I've sat there sad because I compromised myself, right? And the thing I was making because I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening to myself and I wasn't listening to the project, right? And so that's the hill I will always stand on, which is why I am still moving through and figuring out how to help people be able to connect with the energy of the thing they're here to create, because that's the thing that pulls you forward, right? And if you're in energetic alignment with what you're here to make and the fact that you're the vessel that has to be cleared enough to be pulled forward in a way that's easeful, then you will make the thing that you're here to make, right? But I don't think that our businesses are just given to us because we came up with them. in the middle of the night. Like, no, I think for many of us, depending on the kind of business you have, like it's given to you based on your life experience. It's come to you specifically for whatever it is that it knows that it's here to help you heal and move forward. For some of us, things are given to us so that we can play, right? So, like, and that's the beauty of being in the space of creation is to know, oh, like I'm not creating alone. And I think that's the biggest myth of all creatives that they will continue to share with you. It's like brilliance shines and creates alone, and it's crap because it doesn't create alone. I imagine what's under that is that the artist or the creator believes that if they're more alone, there's less noise from the world and they can hear themselves and the project more clearly. If that's the place from which the creation can come through, I get it. Like there's nothing more than what I want is to be on retreat half of my life, sit in the middle of the forest so that I can hear myself think without the noise of the world and what people need and all this stuff, right? But there's also a part of me that knows like I'm not built for that kind of living. That my work gets made as I'm in connection with people because the people reflect to me what the creation is seeking to be made true through me. And like that's the freaking magical part of choosing to create and to put stuff out in the world is like you don't have to do it alone. There are going to be other people. There are like divine guides that come to usher you and help you forward, in addition to the energy of the project, which has things to communicate to you. And then there's you. And that is what gets you to the finish line of the completion of something and gets you there in a place that is where you feel like fully nourished, where you haven't exhausted yourself to no end, right? Because the goal here is to create in order to be given energy and sort of excitement to keep on living and creating, right? When the creation just takes, it's like your life force is gone. And that's not the point of creativity either. Something that you make should give you just as much energy as it has taken for you to put it out and make real in the world. And if that's not the case, that means something is off, right? And so I'm being called momentarily to pull a card in regards to this topic and theme. And for some reason, I'm being called to pull an angel card. But all my angel cards are behind the desk from which the live is at right now. So you all will have to take a little bit of my moving so I can get this card. Okay. All right. So they say they're calling in the divine, we call them the divine forces at play in creativity to give you a sense. They're like, some of you want to hear. That's confirmation, right? So for some reason, the angel cards came to me. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm like trying to figure. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm pulling from Kyle Gray's Angelic Activations Oracle. So there's two cards. Oh, that's it. They're like, yeah, that's it. Okay. All right. So the first one that I'm going to share with you is Guardian Angel, you are not alone. And these cards have the message on the back, and then they have a message in the book, and they want me to read they want me to read both. Your guardian angel is here to hold you and support you, but needs to be invited to come forth and guide you. This invitation doesn't have to be issued through prayer. It can also come through your actions. So stop trying to do everything on your own. Let the barriers of independence fall so that you can be held, loved, and cherished by heaven and earth. Activation. I welcome in all levels of support from heaven and earth. So they don't want me to read the one in the book for that one. They want me to read the next one. So what they're sharing here is that like, so I gave you this information. And if you're here, you've had this intuitive pull already, right? So they're asking you to remember, like, it's going to be your job to ask for what you need. Just because you heard this message doesn't mean they just arrive around you. That's part of it. But then you have to give them permission to be able to come into your particular field and support you with whatever it is you need support with. Some of you are sitting here. They're showing me a couple of people just like sitting here, like you're holding your hands under your legs, like sort of like you're keeping yourself from doing a thing that you really, really, really want to do. And they're like, well, what if you didn't have to do it alone? Would you let yourself do it? And what is it that's keeping you from moving? They're like, some of you are just like sitting there so nervous and you're like scared of doing the thing. And they're like, you have a right to be scared. This thing you want to make is going to shift and change your life forever. But the point is that you don't get to live the rest of your life alone as that unfolds. That actually your path to creating the thing you're here to make, the thing that you're scared to actually put out in the world, that thing is going to attract to you the right people who are going to help you on that journey. You're never going to be alone. And they're saying they get it. It's a human thing. It's a human impulse in us, right? Of survival. It's like we don't want to be abandoned and we don't want to have a reason to be let out of whatever sort of pack that we're a part of, right? Whatever community we're a part of. And so they're sharing like, you won't be, even if you feel the fear of these groups of people, they're saying like, this is also like lifetime based, generational based. Like there might be a very real fear that you're not going to be fully accepted once you walk down this path. Whoa, my throat. This always happens when I'm channeling from the cards. So what they're saying is two things. They're like, one, you're underestimating the amount of love that there is for you, that people will love you no matter what, and that they're not going to remove you because of this one thing. And if they do, then that's not out of love. So you move towards love. And two, they're reminding you there are going to be people on the other side. When you accept to walk this path and you walk it the way you're meant to, even if you walk it in the way you don't even think you're meant to, you're going to meet guides, humans, beings. They even show me like furry creatures who are going to be with you. And so this fear of being alone for actually allowing yourself to make the thing that only you can make. There's things like, they give me a big excellent. That's not true. And then this is the angel they brought forth, Raphael. Trust your spiritual vision. Your psychic and spiritual abilities are awakening. Trust what you are seeing, for your intuition is correct. You can read between the lines, and the information you feel rising up within you is divinely revealed to you. You have spent lifetimes preparing for this moment, and although you may feel apprehensive, you were born for this. Believe in the beauty of your gifts. Activation, I trust my inner vision. So good. Ooh. They're like, yeah, they're sharing that like my heart is opening as I read that. Because maybe that they're also sharing this message because they want to remind you, right? That like maybe that is what will get you off. They're saying like the waiting bench of life, impatient, desperate to create the thing that you want to create, right? They're saying maybe that's what will get you off there, for you to know like you were supposed to do this all along. If you knew that, would you get off the bench? If you knew that you were divinely supported and that this is your vision because it was only given to you because you're the one who's supposed to hold it and bring it to life, like what if you knew that no one else could do it the way that you do it? Because they're also reminding me to share with you, like there's a million readers online. You all click on a bunch of different readings. You all go to different people for different kinds of readings. That doesn't make it so that I can't do this because other people do it. And they're like, not even from a business standpoint, does it matter like whether or not the market is viable. They're like, if this is the thing, if the vessel that I have been given, which is my voice, which is the thing that I struggle the most with, that's the thing I'm supposed to use to deliver my message to you. By me choosing not to follow my intuition in creating this business and building this channel, then I don't get to deliver that message. And so they want you to remember, like the spiritual vision wasn't trusted to you, right? And you're the one that has to go out and share it with others. Otherwise, you can't support people. There are people waiting for you, is what they're saying. Raphael, trust your spiritual vision. Raphael's name means God heals, and he is the archangel who's associated with health and healing. The book of Tobit relates that he once disguised himself as a human and was able to heal a man on the side of the road from sickness and blindness. The sickness and blindness are considered to be metaphorical, referring to the idea that Raphael healed how the man felt about a particular situation and shifted his perspective. It's for this reason that he's looked upon as a guide to help us heal on all levels: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So I'm a clairsentient. Sometimes the messages come through the body. And so they're sharing with me like the point of creation and creating at times is often to heal something. And so your fear right now of not wanting to take the next step and wherever you are in your process, right, is also a fear of like, who are you when you are healed on the other side of that? Right. And they're saying like some messages are for me too. Right. Like in the sense of me as the person who delivers them to you, that there is something waiting for you on the other side. And it's a more healed part of you that is then able to support others on their healing path. So, extra guidance. When Raphael comes to you, he helps you see from a heightened state of being, beyond all distractions and projections, with an awareness that is led by God. Right now, you have an idea about a situation and you are questioning if it is far fetched or not. When this card appears, you're being encouraged to trust in what you feel, you can see, or what you are seeing through visions or dreams, because this is key information for the next phase of your spiritual awakening. Activation, I trust my inner vision. And they're saying trust only gets built through time and showing up and acting in service to the gift that you're here to share with the world and the thing you're here creating with that gift. Right? And they're reminding me to share with you, like, one gift could have a lot of different manifestations in the world. And that's the beauty of it, right? So, like, they're having me share my example, like my gift of communicating comes forth in like various ways in my business, right? Like, there's an immense amount of writing that I do because I communicate things from the heart, or I write really persuasive emails to get people to understand certain concepts or offers that I have, right? Versus communicating to you right now on YouTube, I use like my being and my body to deliver a message that you may need at this moment. That's a level of communication, right? And there's a lot of writing. They're showing me like all the writing I do in the business to communicate what the business is about and what I do. And so that gift of communication, and then they're showing me, of course, like the final one that I talk about all the time are like the books I'm writing and the things that I want to actually see out in the world and be published one day. Like, that's another way that my gift is being ushered to come and share a message in a particular way, right? So some people will come here on YouTube and watch me. Some people will pick up a book one day, or they'll join my email list, right? Like, that gift gets to be, they're saying like the point of your gift is that it gets to be, they're like showing me this beautiful like burst of like magical dust. It gets to like bless other people in various forms based on how it's meant to reach them, right? Like, my partner doesn't always love to read my emails because he's not a voracious reader like I am. But if I read it out loud to him and I share it, he's like, oh, I love it. Right. Just like there's some people on here who will listen to a message, would probably prefer not to, for me to send them a very long email or go to my Substack post where I just like, right. Like, that's the point of different audiences, different places. Right. And they're saying like, they're like, there's a part of you that's like stuck on like, well, I have this gift. How specifically is it supposed to be made real, manifest in the world? They're like, get out of your way and just go do something, because that's how you build the trust in your vision. It's like you take one step at a time. You'll realize like, this is not quite right. Oh, this is right, but I like this better. Maybe I'll combine these two things, right? I'll be honest, when I started my journey in business, like, oh no, my gift of communication is like strictly writing. I've spent decades of writing. This is my jam. I'm going to be like, that person out in the woods. You're not going to find me. I just want to write whatever way I get paid to write. Like, that's what we're going to do here. And then I went down the path, right? And I took another step and I took another step and I took this course and then I tried this and then I wrote this and then I did this. And I was like, oh. And then I got some certifications in spiritual work and energy work. I'm in an apprenticeship for Mary Magdalene. So it's like the gift, whatever gifts you have, they're saying will be made manifest in whatever way they're meant to. But you can't sit here and do nothing and just be in thinking mode. Or they're showing me someone like shuffling cards. Someone's like shuffling. You're thinking. You're moving through the options, right? They're like, that's a waste of your energy. Go do something. Pick a card, go do something for a little while. If you don't like it, next. Keep moving, right? Because I think sometimes people who are connected on the spiritual realm, very close, are like, oh yeah, this feels great. Like, my mind is open. I received all these visions. You have all these beautiful cards of the way your gifts can be manifest in the world. I mean, I've been given like visions of me standing on stages in stadiums, and I'm like, that's great, but like, I just need to take this next big step, right? Because from now until when I stand in a space with that many people, it requires a lot of stuff in between. So right now, I just need to show up for the next best thing in which I feel like my gift is being shared with others, right? And so they're asking you to remember that like, it doesn't just happen because you picked the perfect card at the perfect time, right? The beauty of divine timing is that wherever you decide to go, the next actual action that you take to move your gift from something within you that exists outside of you that gets shared with someone else is the next right thing that was meant to happen anyway. And you'll be met there, and you'll be met every step of the way with whatever you need. And they're saying if you don't believe that quite yet, then it's okay, just ask for it. Ask for the confirmation. They're like, some people are really scared to ask the divine, whatever you believe, your higher self, God, right? Whatever guides you work with. Like, people are really afraid to ask for things. And you shouldn't be. Because for a long time, I had a friend once that was like, I asked my higher power to show me this many bunnies. If this was whatever. And I looked at her like, how dare you? Like, what do you mean you're going to ask for confirmation of something that you already know intuitively, but you want to make sure they give to you? Like, it was like, I was like, how audacious. Like, I literally was like, how audacious. How dare you? How dare you? Right? Because to me, it felt like, how dare you question? Right? But that wasn't actually a question. She wasn't questioning the authority with which she had to exist in relationship to the higher power. She asking for, like, can you confirm this so I can follow the next right step in this path that you set me on? And if you come from that place of like great deep intention and love and care, because you're building this muscle of being in connection with and making decisions and acting on them in the real world through time, they'll give it to you. They will. Okay. So the last card I'm going to end with, because it's on the top, and they were like, this, somebody just needs to hear this. I won't read it from the book. It's Holy Amethyst. You are the light. You have a light within you, and this light will never go out. Whenever you face darkness, this brilliance has the opportunity to shine. Right now, God and the angels are calling you to switch your light on full. Stand in the greatness of your spirit. Do not back down. And be the bringer of good that you are born to be. Activation. I am a light of hope in the world. And they're wondering, like, these are the other activations they want me to share for you. I welcome in all levels of support from heaven and earth. I trust my inner vision. They're like, and if you can't get into these, then like, what are the words that are going to activate you? You can create them for yourself too. They're saying that's possible too. All right, my dears. Let me know in the comments what project you have been sitting on the sidelines waiting to just get started. Once you declare it to at least me, the beauty of where I'm at right now, my live channel, is that there aren't that many people here. So you're in a good place. Tell me in the comments, like, what's the project? Tell me the baby step you're going to take to explore it further. They're saying if all that feels fear, like if you're really too scared to say that, you can just say, I'm a creator and I'm here to create. And if that's what you want to say because you want to declare that, you declare it. They gave me those words to share, you know. And if you just want to say, I'm here to create, you let me know that. I will be back tomorrow for day 7 of 30 days of listening. And I'll probably be here later at night or early in the morning. I can never quite decide. My apologies. But probably more so late at night. More so. And hopefully I'll see you here.